If you have ever believed that eating vegetables every day is the best way to protect your heart, you are not alone. But did you know that, according to the American Heart Association, 1 out of every 3 people over the age of 60 is living with heart disease without even knowing it? The sad truth is, most of them think they are eating healthy, especially when they eat a lot of leafy greens. However, not all vegetables are good for your heart, especially if you are taking blood pressure medication or blood thinners. After the age of 60, your body no longer reacts the same way it did when you were 30 or 40, and some vegetables, if not used properly, can silently cause irregular heartbeats, raise your blood pressure, or reduce the effectiveness of your medication. I understand how frustrating this can be, especially when you are trying so hard to take care of yourself but still not seeing any improvements in your health. In this video, I will share 7 common vegetables that may be silently harming your heart, and at the very end, you will receive a simple tip to naturally improve your blood circulation every day if you truly care about your heart. Do not skip this video. What country are you from? Leave a comment below and share your age with us. 1. Spinach. For decades, spinach has been seen as a symbol of a healthy diet with its dark green color and rich nutritional content. This vegetable often appears in stir-fries, soups, or morning smoothies. A 100-gram serving of spinach contains up to 145 micrograms of vitamin K, which is more than 100% of the recommended daily intake for adults. But this is exactly what makes it a hidden danger for older adults, especially those taking blood-thinning medications. After the age of 60, many people need to take warfarin or aspirin to prevent blood clots, strokes, or heart attacks. However, vitamin K works against the effects of these medications by helping blood clot more quickly, increasing the risk of forming dangerous clots in the blood vessels. What is more concerning is that this imbalance often shows no clear symptoms. You might still feel healthy until you suddenly experience severe chest pain or even a stroke. According to Harvard Health Publishing, getting vitamin K from food must be consistent and monitored by a doctor if you are on blood thinners. This means that if you skip spinach today but drink a green smoothie tomorrow, the sudden change in vitamin K levels can throw off your medication balance and seriously affect your heart health. This does not mean you have to completely remove spinach from your diet. What matters is eating it in moderation, on a regular schedule, and informing your doctor so they can adjust your medication dosage accordingly. Many seniors do not realize that a simple bowl of green soup can reduce the effectiveness of their medicine or even become life-threatening if not managed properly. And if spinach, the vegetable often praised as a superfood, can be silently harmful like this, then what about other familiar vegetables sitting in your fridge? Could they carry the same hidden risks? 2. Pickled cucumbers. For many older adults in the United States, pickled cucumbers are more than just a side dish. They are a familiar part of lunch with a sandwich, a midday snack, or even a favorite food tied to childhood memories from summer picnics. Jars of homemade pickles in the kitchen to simple dinners at roadside diners. But very few people know that just 2 to 3 slices of pickles can contain up to 1,000 milligrams of sodium, which is nearly 70% of the maximum recommended daily sodium intake for people over the age of 60. Excess sodium is one of the leading causes of fluid retention in the body, which increases blood volume and forces the heart to pump harder to circulate blood throughout the organs. When you are younger, your kidneys can remove this extra sodium, but after the age of 60, kidney function begins to decline, making it harder for your body to eliminate salt as efficiently as before. As a result, your blood pressure slowly rises over time, your blood vessels are placed under more pressure, and your heart is quietly pushed into a state of overwork. According to research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, a high-sodium diet increases the risk of heart failure by up to 38% in older adults. What is more concerning is that salt does not only come from the pickles you eat with your sandwich, it also comes from salted broths, cheese, cold cuts, bottled sauces, and even the light soup you might have for dinner. The damage does not happen after just one meal, but over time, salt can silently cause swelling, headaches, poor sleep, and in severe cases, led to congestive heart failure. The advice is to gradually reduce pickled cucumbers in your meals and instead enjoy naturally crunchy vegetables like fresh cucumbers, baby carrots, or celery, along with lemon, roasted garlic, or apple cider vinegar to boost flavor. 3. Red chili peppers. You might agree that a little heat from red chili peppers can light up any dish, from spicy Cajun soups and Tex-Mex grilled meats to hot sauces like buffalo wings or chili con carne. The spicy flavor has become an essential part of American cuisine. But after the age of 60, these flavorful and warming dishes could become a hidden threat to a heart that is slowly growing weaker. The main compound responsible for the heat in chili peppers is capsaicin, a chemical that activates the sympathetic nervous system. It causes your heart rate to rise, your blood pressure to spike, and adrenaline to flood your bloodstream, just like your body is under stress. When you are young, this reaction may simply feel exciting, but after 60, when your blood vessels begin to stiffen and your heart does not pump as easily, each spicy meal becomes a moment when your heart is set on fire from within. According to research from McMaster University, in older adults, regularly consuming capsaicin is linked to a higher risk of irregular heartbeat, sudden blood pressure spikes, and even temporary chest pain. I once met an elderly patient who came to the clinic feeling anxious, short of breath, and with an irregular heartbeat. She did not drink coffee, did not eat salty foods, and was not taking any supplements. But after further questioning, she admitted that she had eaten 2 bowls of spicy chili earlier that day, just as she often did on weekends. The problem is not that one spicy meal will cause a serious event, but if your heart is exposed to repeated stimulation from spicy food week after week, year after year, the risk of cumulative damage becomes very real. You do not need to give up flavor completely. Try replacing it with warm and gentle spices like cooked ginger, roasted garlic, turmeric, or fresh lemon zest. These can make your food enjoyable without causing your heart to react with stress. And if something as small as a chili pepper can trigger such a strong response, what might happen when you use an ingredient considered a natural remedy, but one that has never been properly measured or controlled? 4. Raw garlic. Garlic has long been trusted, not only as a familiar spice, but also as a natural remedy passed down through generations. Many people over 60 have been told that eating a raw clove of garlic every morning can improve blood circulation, lower cholesterol, and prevent strokes. And garlic truly does offer benefits, especially because it contains allicin, an active compound known to thin the blood, relax blood vessels, and reduce inflammation. However, the issue is not with the benefits of garlic, but rather with how it is used, how much is consumed, and how an older body responds to it. After the age of 60, many people take aspirin, warfarin, or blood thinners like Eliquis or Plavix to prevent blood clots, strokes, or heart attacks. But allicin in raw garlic can amplify the effects of these medications, making the blood too thin. This can lead to easy bruising, bleeding gums, nosebleeds, or in more serious cases, low blood pressure and internal bleeding. According to the Journal of the American Medical Directors Association, combining raw garlic with blood thinners in older adults significantly increases the risk of gastrointestinal bleeding and sudden drops in blood pressure. I once saw a 72-year-old patient who fell in the bathroom after feeling dizzy. The reason she was regularly taking prescribed blood thinners, but also chewing a raw garlic clove every morning for heart health following a friend's suggestion. There was no warning label, no exact dosage, and no one told her that an older body processes natural compounds very differently from a younger one. This does not mean you have to eliminate garlic from your life. If you enjoy garlic, try using cooked, roasted, or lightly steamed garlic. This helps reduce the intensity of allicin while preserving most of the health benefits. And most importantly, before using any food as a natural remedy, talk to your doctor, especially if you're on heart medication. Because if one garlic clove can cause low blood pressure and internal bleeding, can you truly be sure that a fresh-looking vegetable does not carry bacteria that could harm your heart? 5. Raw sprouts. You may have believed that mung bean sprouts, green sprouts, or other microgreens are clean, light, and heart-friendly foods. They are often sprinkled on salads, sandwiches, soups, or even eaten raw as part of a healthy lifestyle. But after the age of 60, a handful of raw sprouts could be the cause of blood infections, irregular heartbeat, or even endocarditis, which is inflammation of the inner lining of the heart. The reason lies in how these sprouts are grown. To grow quickly, the seeds must be kept in a warm, moist, and enclosed environment, which also happens to be the perfect condition for bacteria such as Salmonella, E. coli, or Listeria to thrive. These bacteria may not pose serious harm to young, healthy people, but for those over 60, when the immune system has weakened and the heart is more vulnerable, the consequences can be severe. According to the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, between 1996 and 2020, there were over 50 outbreaks of foodborne illness linked to raw sprouts, and most of the victims were seniors, people with heart disease, or those with weak immune systems. I once met a 68-year-old male patient who was admitted to the hospital with a high fever, shortness of breath, and an irregular heartbeat. At first, we suspected a heart problem, but after testing, it turned out he had a bloodstream infection caused by a strain of E. coli found in raw sprouts. He believed he was eating very clean and healthy by choosing sprouts over boiled vegetables, but he had no idea that something so pure and delicate could be hiding millions of bacteria. The most dangerous thing about sprouts is that they often look fresh and crisp, but you cannot tell just by looking whether a batch is safe or not. So if you enjoy eating sprouts, the advice is to always blanch, steam lightly, or cook them before eating, especially if you have a history of heart disease or are currently taking blood pressure medication. 6. Vegetables that interfere with medications. You have always believed that eating vegetables every day is the best way to live longer and keep your heart healthy. And that is true. But if you are taking heart medications, blood thinners, or blood pressure medicine, certain vegetables, even very healthy ones, can interfere with how those drugs work in your body. After the age of 60, your liver and kidneys slow down, making it harder for your body to process both food and medication. If you are taking warfarin or other blood thinners, cruciferous vegetables such as kale, broccoli, or Brussels sprouts contain high levels of vitamin K, which may reduce the effectiveness of your medication. This means your blood may clot faster, increasing the risk of blood clots, strokes, or heart attacks, even if you're taking your medication regularly. According to a study from Tufts University, patients over the age of 65 who ate large amounts of cruciferous vegetables without guidance had a 35% higher risk of being hospitalized due to clotting issues compared to those who ate carefully with a doctor's advice. Even more concerning, some foods like grapefruit, though technically a fruit, have been shown to block enzymes in the liver, causing medications to build up in the bloodstream and become toxic. This is especially dangerous with cholesterol drugs, blood thinners, or blood pressure medications. I once advised a 75-year-old woman who was very careful about her health. She ate kale, grapefruit, and salad every day, but kept experiencing low blood pressure, dizziness, and trouble sleeping. It turned out she was taking both blood thinners and blood pressure medication, but no one had ever told her that simply eating healthy foods at the wrong time could seriously disrupt her circulation. This does not mean you need to avoid cruciferous vegetables or grapefruit altogether, but you do need to understand your body, eat consistently, avoid sudden changes in your daily vegetable intake, and always consult your doctor if you plan to increase or reduce any specific food in your meals. 7. Canned and overcooked vegetables. In the rush of daily life, especially as we grow older and cooking becomes more difficult, many people turn to canned, frozen, or pre-cooked vegetables for convenience. A can of green beans in the pantry, a bag of frozen mixed vegetables, or a microwavable meal with overcooked veggies might seem like a better choice than skipping vegetables altogether. But few people realize that these ready-to-eat vegetables may be silently making your heart heavier and more tired every day. The issue is not the vegetables themselves, but what has been added to them and what has been lost during processing to extend the shelf life. Canned vegetables are often loaded with salt. A single serving of canned vegetables can contain between 300 and 500 milligrams of sodium, and even more if combined with canned soup or sauce. At the same time, overcooking or preserving vegetables at high heat can destroy much of the soluble fiber, vitamin B and vitamin C, all of which are essential for keeping your blood vessels flexible and maintaining healthy circulation. According to the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, people who consume canned or frozen vegetables more than 4 times per week have a 32% higher risk of high blood pressure and fluid retention compared to those who mainly eat fresh vegetables cooked at home. One of my patients, Mr. Fred, 73 years old, lived alone and often ate canned vegetables because they were quick, easy, and didn't need washing. Even though he made an effort to eat vegetables every day, he still struggled with high blood pressure, mild ankle swelling, and fatigue after dinner after switching to fresh vegetables, lightly steamed or stir-fried with olive oil. His swelling and fatigue improved noticeably in just 2 weeks. In reality, you do not need to spend much time cooking. Just choose fresh vegetables available at the market and lightly boil or steam them. That is already enough to ease the burden on your heart. If you need to store them, you can steam the vegetables first and freeze them, instead of relying on canned goods. And if something that seems harmless just because it is convenient can quietly put stress on your heart, then maybe it is time to take a closer look at every meal, starting with the smallest choices. After the age of 60, your heart is no longer as strong as it was in your younger years. It needs to be cared for more gently, more thoughtfully, and in the right way. But sadly, many people still unintentionally tire their hearts simply by choosing the wrong vegetables each day. In today's video, we have reviewed 7 common vegetables that may silently harm your heart if used incorrectly. From spinach, high in vitamin K that interferes with blood thinners, salty pickles that raise blood pressure, spicy peppers that stimulate rapid heartbeat, to raw garlic that increases bleeding risks when combined with medication, not to mention raw sprouts that carry infection risks, vegetables that interfere with how your body absorbs medicine, and canned vegetables full of salt but low in nutrients. These foods, once considered healthy, may become a burden on your aging heart if they are no longer suitable for your body. But here is the good news: you do not have to change everything at once. Just start with one small action, such as replacing canned vegetables with steamed ones, or reducing the amount of pickles on your plate. That alone is already an important step toward a healthier heart. Your heart has served you faithfully for decades. Now is the time to help it feel a little less tired every day. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel so you do not miss upcoming content on herbs, exercises, and diets that support long life and good health after 60. And do not forget to share this video with your loved ones, because one small change in today's meal could be a lasting gift of health in the future. Are you currently eating any of the vegetables mentioned today? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. I am always here to listen to your stories.